Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today's reciters are Jai Shri Mataji for Sanskrit and Amelia Mataji for English verses, reciting from Canto 2, Chapter 10, verses 32 to 51. Jai Shri Mataji, please start with invocation, please. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Please accept my very humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees. Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, Text 32. Gunatma Kanindriyani Bhutadi Prabhava Gunaha Mana Sarva Vikramatma Buddhir Vijnana Rupini.
Translation. The sense organs are attached to the modes of material nature, and the modes of material nature are products of the false ego. The mind is subjected to all kinds of material experiences, happiness and distress, and the intelligence is the feature of the mind's deliberation.
Text 33. Etat bhagavato rupam stulam te vyahritam maya mahyati charavarner ashtabir bahir afritam.
We had a good time, didn't we? Yeah.
Thus, by all this, the external feature of the personality of Godhead is covered by gross forms, such as those of planets, which were explained to you by me.
Text 34. Ataparam sukshmatamam avyaktam nirvisheshanam anadipatya nittanam nityam vam manasaparam.
Translation. Therefore, beyond this gross manifestation is a transcendental manifestation, finer than the finest form. It has no beginning, no intermediate stage, and no end. Therefore, it is beyond the limits of expression or mental speculation and is distinct from the material conception.
Text 35. Amuni bhagavat rupe mayate yanuvarnite upeyapina grinanti maya sriste vipaschitaha.
Neither of the above forms of the Lord, as just described unto you from the material angle of vision, is accepted by the pure devotees of the Lord who know him well.
Text 36. Savachya vachakataya bhagavan brahmarupadruk namarupa kriya tatte sakarma karmaka paraha.
He, the personality of Godhead, manifests himself in a transcendental form, being the subject of his transcendental name, quality, pastimes, entourage, and transcendental variegatedness. Although he is unaffected by all such activities, he appears to be so engaged.
Text 37 to 40. Prajapatin manun devan rishin pitruganan pritak siddhacharana gandharvan vidyadra suraguhyakan kinarapsaraso nagan sarvan kim purushandaran matraraksha pishachamscha pretabhuta vinayakan kushmandon madavetalan Yatudanan grahannapi kakan mrigan pashun vrikshan girin nirpa sarishrupan dvivitas chaturvitta yejne jalastala nabakasaha kushala kushala mishra karmanam katayastvimaha.
O King, know from me that all living entities are created by the Supreme Lord according to their past deeds. This includes Brahma and his sons like Daksha, the periodical heads like Vaivashvata Manu, the demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna, the great sages like Pruku, Vyasa, and Vashista, the inhabitants of Pitruloka and Siddhaloka, the Charanas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Asuras, Yakshas, Kinnaras, and angels, the serpentines, the monkey-shaped Kimpurushas, the human beings, the inhabitants of Matraloka, the demons, Pisakas, ghosts, spirits, lunatics, and evil spirits, the good and evil stars, the goblins, the animals in the forest, the birds, the household animals, the reptiles, the mountains, the moving and standing living entities, the living entities born from embryos, from eggs, from perspiration and from seeds, and all others, whether they be in the water, land, or sky, in happiness, in distress, or in mixed happiness and distress. All of them, according to their past deeds, are created by the Supreme Lord.
Text 41. Sattvam rajastama iti tisra sura nirnarakaha tatrapyakekasho rajan vidyante katayastrita yateke katarodhyapyam svabhava upahanyate.
According to the different modes of material nature, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of darkness, there are different living creatures who are known as demigods, human beings, and hellish living entities. O King, even a particular mode of nature being mixed with the other two is divided into three, and thus each kind of living creature is influenced by the other modes and acquires its habits also.
Text 42. Sa evitam jagattata bhagavan dharmarupadruk pushnati stapayan vishvam tiryan narasuratipihi.
He, the personality of Godhead, as the maintainer of all in the universe, appears in different incarnations after establishing the creation, and thus he reclaims all kinds of conditioned souls amongst the humans, the non-humans, and the demigods.
Text 43. Tatakalagniruddratma yat srishtam idam atmanaha saniyachati tatkale gananikam ivanilaha.
Thereafter, at the end of the millennium, the Lord himself, in the form of Rudra, the destroyer, will annihilate the complete creation as the wind displaces the clouds.
Text 44. Ittam bhavena katito bhagavan bhagavatamaha nettam bhavena hi param drashtum arhanti suryaha.
The great transcendentalists thus describe the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the pure devotees deserve to see more glorious things in transcendence beyond these features.
Text 45. Nasya karmani janmatau parasyanu vidiyate kartritva pratishettartham mayayaropitam hitat.
There is no direct engineering by the Lord for the creation and destruction of the material world. What is described in the Vedas about his direct interference is simply to counteract the idea that material nature is the creator.
Text 46. Ayam tu brahmana kalpaha savikalpa utaritaha vitti satarano yatra sarga prakrita vekritaha.
This process of creation and annihilation described in summary herein is the regulative principle during the duration of Brahma's one day. It is also the regulative principle in the creation of Mahat, in which the material nature is dispersed.
Text 47. Parimanam chakalasya kalpalakshana vigraham yata purushtat vyakyasye padmam kalpam ato shrinu.
O King, I shall in due course explain the measurement of time in its gross and subtle features, with the specific symptoms of each, but for the present let me explain unto you the Padma Kalpa.
Text 48. Shonaka vacha yat aha napavan sutta shata bhagavato mataha chachara tirthani bhuvas tyaktva bandhun sudusyajan.
Saunakarshi, after hearing all about the creation, inquired from Sutta Goswami about Vidura, for Sutta Goswami had previously informed him how Vidura left home, leaving aside all his relatives who were very difficult to leave.
Texts 49 and 50. Shukta kosharavestasya samvado dhyatma samshritaha Yatva sa bhagavanstasmai prishtastatvam uvachaha Bruhinastat itam somya vidurasya vichestitam bandhutyaga nimittam cha yateva katavan punaha.
Saunakashi said, "Let us know, please, what topics were discussed between Vidura and Maitreya, who talked on transcendental subjects, and what was inquired by Vidura and replied by Maitreya. Also, please let us know the reason for Vidura's giving up the connection of his family members and why he again came home. Please also let us know the activities of Vidura while he was in the places of pilgrimage."
Text 51. Sutta vacha Rajna parikshita prishto yad avochan mahamunihi tattva vidyasya shrunata Rajna prasnanusarataha.
Sri Sutta Goswami explained, "I shall now explain to you the very subjects explained by the great sage in answer to King Parikshit's inquiries. Please hear them attentively."
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Such nice recitation. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. So today, the shlokas for discussion are 44, 45, 46. What do you want to do? Hare Krishna, Prabhu, maybe you can go on mute. Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so I suggest, all three of them have long purport. So we read one shloka translation purport, discuss it, and then move on to the next one and the next one, if that's okay. So yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam 2.10.44. We start there. Itam bhavena katito bhagavan bhagvatama Nitam bhavena hi param drishtam maryanti surya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The great transcendentalists thus describe the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the pure devotees deserve to see more glorious things in transcendence beyond these features. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Lord is not only the creator and destroyer of the material manifestations of his different energies, he is more than a simple creator and destroyer. For there is his feature of ananda, or his pleasures feature. This pleasure feature of the Lord is understood by the pure devotees only, and not by others. The impersonalist is satisfied simply by understanding the all-pervasive influence of the Lord. This is called Brahman realization. Greater than the impersonalist is the mystic who sees the Lord situated in his heart as Paramatma, the partial representation of the Lord. But there are pure devotees who take part in the direct pleasure, ananda potency of the Lord by factual reciprocation of loving service. The Lord in his abode called the Vaikuntha planets, which are eternal manifestations, always remains with his associates and enjoys transcendental loving service by his pure devotees in different transcendental humors. The pure devotees of the Lord thus undergo a practice of that devotional service to the Lord during the manifestation of the creation and take full advantage of the manifestation by qualifying themselves to enter into the kingdom of God. Bhagavad Gita 1855 confirms this. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvata tato mam tatvato gnatva visate tad anantaram. By development of pure devotional service, one can factually know the Lord as He is and thus be trained in the bona fide service of the Lord and be allowed to enter into the direct association of the Lord in so many capacities. The highest glorious association with the Lord is made possible in the planet of Golok Vrindavan, where Lord Krishna enjoys himself with the gopis and his favorite animals, the Surabhi cows. The description of this transcendental land of Krishna is given in the Brahma Samhita, which is considered by Lord Sri Chaitanya to be the most authentic literature in this connection. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu devacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha namo vishnu padaya krishna pristhaya bhutale shrimate bhakti vedanta swami tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatari Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to facilitate this session today. I have no knowledge or realization. I'm just trying to repeat what I've heard in the various lectures, and please do feel free to chip in as we go through. I really beg for your blessings that I can say something which is as per the parampara and is pleasing to the ears and aligned to what Prabhupada is trying to say here. So if we just recap where we are in chapter 10 of second canto, which is the last chapter of second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. As you know, in the last chapter there was Chatur Shloki Bhagavatam, and now here the chapter starts with the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then it goes into Sarga and then Visarga, and then there is the Shaunak Rishi inquires from Sutta Goswami about Vidura and Maitreya Samvad. So we are in the third section of the chapter where the Visarga has been explained as to how Lord Brahma, or Lord accepted the form of Lord Brahma to create, and how bodies are created based on karma. The permutations of modes create varieties of species, and how for maintenance, and destruction, Lord Vishnu and Shiva comes. And in this last section, it is explained that Lord doesn't directly take part in creation. Still, material nature is not independent. So the section, which is 44 to 47. So this particular shloka is so beautiful because this is talking about how the devotees are appreciating the Lord as Krishna, and they're appreciating not just the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the creation, but actually the personal feature of the Lord. As pure devotees value the personal feature and their interaction with the Lord more than the more awe and reverence, and the various the other part of the Lord, which is more dealing with the Aishwarya of the Lord, which is the whole creation and maintenance and destruction part of the Aishwarya that the Lord shows in the earlier verses. Srila Prabhupada explains very nicely in the purport as to how it is the Ananda feature of the Lord that the devotees associate with, which is the pleasure feature, and how the pure devotees are at the next level of realization, not just the Brahman level of realization or the Paramatma level, but actually the Bhagwan level of realization. We know how the pure devotees interact, and there's so many. I mean, Krishna Bhog is full of the Brajavasis who are Srimati Radharani, whose appearance day is next week, clearly is the topmost of those devotees. But there's so many pastimes in Krishna book where Srila Prabhupada has explained how the devotees interact with Krishna. At the next level, we know how when Mother Yashoda ties Krishna to the wooden grinding mortar, Lord Balram comes to Mother and says, "You know who you have tied? He's from Param Brahma himself." And the mother says, "Param Brahma, what do you mean?" And Balram says, "Yeah, he's Param Brahma himself, and I am actually and Sheshnag myself." And the mother kind of rebukes him and says, is this Param Brahma? He's like he's my Kana or Lalla. And then Balram says, he's the same one who's the incarnation of, whose incarnation is Lord Lord Nrsingadev and Lord Vamandev. And Mother says, "Oh, my Kana gets scared of the cat," and you say he's the source of Lord Nrsingadev. Oh, he cannot even cross the doorway of the house, and you say he's Vamandev, who took 3 steps and covered the entire manifestation. So there are beautiful pastimes like that all over. We all know how when Krishna had left the Rasalila and he had disappeared as the gopis were looking to find Krishna. On the way to finding him, the gopis met Lord Narayan, and they were not really interested in Lord Narayan per se. In fact, they only asked him, "Have you seen Krishna around?" So they're clearly in a very different rasa, and also the great pastime of Uddhava when he is sent back by Krishna to Vrindavan. At that time, we all know Uddhava is the a disciple of Brihaspati himself, such a qualified teacher who is the teacher of the Devatas. And when he came to Vrindavan, his mood was, I'll go and teach the Brajbasis. And we all know about like his interaction with first Nand Maharaj when he tries to explain like Krishna is Bhagwan himself. And Nand Maharaj says, well, Bhagwan, like, but he is the one who used to steal butter from the various houses. And we also know how Uddhav observes Srimati Radharani talking to the bumblebee. So again, I mean, we know that how the Brajbasis had such a greater level of realization than just the realization that Krishna is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of this material creation. We also know, as Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, that it is only a very small part of Krishna's potency that it takes to actually do the creation, isn't it? Like Krishna expands as Lord Balaram. From Lord Balaram comes the first Chaturvyuha, and from the first Sankarshan of the Chaturvyuha, and comes Lord Narayan. From Lord Narayan comes the second Chaturvyuha. From the second Chaturvyuha Sankarshan comes the three Purusha avatars like the Karunadakshaya Vishnu, the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Shirodakshaya Vishnu. And when Karunadaksha Vishnu, he lies down in the causal ocean. From his pores comes out all the various universes. So like we know, like, I mean, Krishna is not involved in this whole creation maintenance and destruction. He is busy interacting and enjoying in Ananda. Srila Prabhupada says that in the spiritual world, in the various Madhurya exchanges, or his various rasas and exchanges in Golok Vrindavan, whereas one of his potencies or energies, expansions, as in the form of Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu. He's the one who's the source of the various activities which are related to creation, maintenance, and destruction. So if it's okay, we move to the next verse. Share my screen again. Just 1 second. So verse 45. Nasya karmani janmadau parasyanu vidhiyate kartritva praside pratisedhar tam mayaya ropitam hitat. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. There's no direct engineering by the Lord for the creation and destruction of the material world. What is described in the Vedas about his direct interference is simply to counteract the idea that material nature is the creator. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Vedic direction for the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material world is this: Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisham vishanti. That is, everything is created by Brahman. After creation, everything is maintained by Brahman, and after annihilation, everything is conserved in Brahman. Gross materialists, without any knowledge of Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagwan, conclude material nature to be the ultimate cause of the material manifestation. And the modern scientists also share this view, that the material nature is the ultimate cause of all manifestations of the material world. This view is refuted by all Vedic literature. The Vedanta philosophy mentions that Brahman is the fountainhead of all creation, maintenance, and destruction. And Srimad Bhagavatam, the natural commentation on the Vedanta philosophy, says, Janmadi asya yato anvayaditaratascha artheshu abhigna swarat, etc. So Actually, inert matter is undoubtedly energy with potential to interact, but it has no initiative of its own. Srimad Bhagavatam therefore comments on the aphorism Janmadhyasya by saying Abhigna and Swarat. That is, the Supreme Brahman is not inert matter, but he is supreme consciousness and is independent. Therefore, inert matter cannot be ultimate cause of the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material world. Superficially, material nature appears to be the cause of creation, maintenance, and destruction. But material nature is set into motion for creation by the supreme conscious being, the personality of Godhead. He is the background of all creation, maintenance, and destruction, and this is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Maya Dhakshena Prakriti Suyate Cha Characharam He Hetunanena Konteya Jagat Viparivartate. The material nature is one of the energies of the Lord, and she can work under the direction of the Lord, Adhyakshena. When the Lord throws his transcendental glance over the material nature, then only can the material nature act as a father contacts the mother, who is then able to conceive a child. Although it appears to a layman that the mother gives birth to the child, the experienced man knows that the father gives birth to the child. The material nature therefore produces the moving and standing manifestations of the material world after being contacted by the Supreme Father and not independently. Considering material nature to be the cause of creation, maintenance, etc., is called the logic of nipples on the neck of a goat. The Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes this logic of Ajagalastana Nyaya as follows. As explained by His Divine Grace, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, the material nature as material cause is known as Pradhana, and as the efficient cause is known as Maya. But since it is inert matter, it is not the remote cause of creation. Kaviraj Goswami states as follows. अथैव कृष्णा मूला जगत कारणा प्रकृति कारणा यैचे अजगला sthana, because Karanavashay Vishnu is the plenary expansion of Krishna. It is he who electrifies the matter to put it in motion. The example of electrification is quite appropriate. The piece of iron is certainly not fire, but when the iron is made red hot, certainly it has a quality of fire through its burning capacity. Matter is compared to the piece of iron, and it is electrified or made red hot by the glance or manipulation of the supreme consciousness of Vishnu. Only by such electrification is the energy of matter displayed in various actions and reactions. Therefore, the inert matter is neither efficient nor the material cause of cosmic manifestation. Srila Kapiladev has said, Yatho Mukad Vish Pulingad Dhumad Vapi Sva Sambhavad Apiyatmat Vena Bhimatad Yathagni Prithag Ulmukat. The original fire, its flame, its sparks, and its smoke are all one. For fire is still fire, yet it is different from the flame. The flame is different from the sparks, and sparks are different from the smoke. In every one of them, namely in the flames, in the sparks, and in the smoke, the integrity of fire is present, yet all of them are differently situated with different positions. The cosmic manifestation is compared to the smoke because when smoke passes over the sky, so many forms appear. resembling many known and unknown manifestations. The sparks are compared to living entities, and the flames are compared to material nature, pradhana. Flames are compared to material nature, pradhana. One must know that each and every one of them is effective simply because of the empowered quality of the original fire. Therefore, all of them, namely the material nature, the cosmic manifestation, and the living entities, are but different energies of the Lord, who is the fire. Therefore, those who accept the material nature as the cosmic manifestation, original cause, prakriti, the cause of creation, according to Sankhya philosophy, are not correct in their conclusion. Material nature has no separate existence without the Lord. Therefore, setting aside the Supreme Lord as the cause of all causes is the logic of Ajagala Sthana Nyaya, or trying to milk the nipples of the neck of a goat. The nipples of the neck of the goat may seem like sources of milk, but to try to get milk from such nipples would be foolish. So it's so nicely explained that while Lord is in Golok Vrindavan enjoying his pastimes and activities with the devotees there. But one should not forget that he is the real cause behind the creation and destruction of the material world. And it is explained like some people either who have this particular Nyaya philosophy around Ajigala Sthana Nyaya philosophy or Sankhya philosophy, who may think that that Brahman is the real cause of creation and destruction, or the material scientist who would say that the Big Bang is the cause of the material creation. Srila Prabhupada very articulately says that their understanding is incorrect, because he starts by giving the example of Srimad Bhagavatam and the first very verse where it says Janmadhyasya yato anvayaditaratascha abhigna swarat, like while there is Janmadhyasya around this creation, there's destruction, etc. But the real cause behind that is abhigna swarat, where the Lord Himself is the real cause behind it. And then he goes on to explain with various examples that how the prakriti or the material nature is feminine in nature, and it needs a father for the child to be conceived, or the material creation to come in existence. And he goes on to explain that how the material nature, also known as pradhana, gets the glance of Karuna Dakshay, Vishnu, and that is how it gets in motion, and material creation starts to manifest. And he gives various examples like how iron is iron till it is put in contact with fire, then it gets the property of the fire. He speaks about electrification. Again, a wire is just a wire, but till electricity is passed through it, it hasn't got the potency. And likewise, he's talking about this final example where he speaks about the fire. And from fire comes the flame, from flame comes the sparks, and then finally smoke. And he says basically the Lord is the original fire. From him comes the original pradhan, which is the unmanifested material nature. We are the sparks as the living entities, and then the smoke is the final manifestation of the material creation. So essentially, Lord is behind all the creation of the material world, even though he doesn't directly get involved, and one of his energies or potencies does the creation. If it's okay, we move to the third shloka. I will share my screen again. So this is 2.10.46. Ayam tu brahmana kalpa savikalpa udharita vidhi sadharano yatra sarga prakriti vaikrita. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. This process of creation and annihilation, described in summary herein, is the regulative principles during the duration of Brahma's one day. It is also the regulative principle in the creation of Mahat, in which the material nature is dispersed. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are three different types of creation called Mahakalpa, Vikalpa, and Kalpa. In the Mahakalpa, the Lord assumes the first Purusha incarnation as Karunadakshai Vishnu, with all the potencies of the Mahatattva and the 16 principles of creative matter and instruments. The creative instruments are 11, the ingredients are 5, and all of them are product of Mahat or materialistic ego. These creations by the Lord in his feature of Karunadakshay Vishnu are called Mahakalpa. The creation of Brahma and dispersion of the material ingredients are called Vikalpa, and the creation by Brahma in each day in a cycle is called Kalpa. You know, there's always creation destruction happening, and there's partial dissolution and full dissolution. So keep that in mind as we're looking to understand this. Therefore, each day of Brahma is called a kalpa, and there are 30 kalpas in terms of Brahma's days. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 8:17 as follows. Sahasra yuga paryantam aharyat brahmano vidu ratrim yuga sahasrana trantam tam tehat aho ratra vidu jana. In the upper planetary system, the duration of one complete day and night is equal to one complete year of this earth. One day and night in the upper planetary system is one complete year on this earth. This is accepted even by the modern scientists and attested by astronauts. Similarly, in the region of still higher planetary system, the duration of day and night is still higher than the heavenly planets. The 4 yugas are calculated in terms of heavenly calendars, and accordingly are 12,000 years in terms of heavenly planets. This is called Divya Yuga. And 1,000 Divyugas make one day of Brahma. The creation during the day of Brahma is called Kalpa, and the creation of Brahma is called Vikalpa. When Vikalpas are made possible by the breathing of Mahavishnu, this is called a Mahakalpa. There are regular and systemic cycles of these Mahakalpas, Vikalpas, and Kalpas. In answer to Maharaj Parikshit's question about them, Sukdev Goswami answered in the Prabhas Khanda of the Skanda Purana. They are as follows. Prathama Shveta Kalpascha Dvitiyo Nila Lohita Vamadeva Tritiyastu Tato Gathantaro Para Rorava Panchama Prokta Shashta Prana Iti Smrita Saptamo Ata Brahat Kalpa Kandarpo astama uchyate sadyotha navama kalpa Ishano dashama smrita dhyana ekadasha proktas tatho sarvato apara त्रयोदशा उदानास्तु गरुडो अथा चतुर्दशा कौरमा पंचदशो ज्ञेया पौर्णमासी प्रजापते षोडशो नरसिंहस्तु समाधिस्तु ततो अपरा अग्नेयो विष्णु जासौरा सोमकल्पस्ततो अपरा द्वाविंशो भावना प्रोक्ता सुपुमान् इति चापरा वैकुण्ठश्चाष्टिषष्टद्वद् वाली कल्पस्ततो अपरा सप्ताविंशोऽथा वैराजो गौरीकल्पस्तथा परा महेश्वरस्तथा प्रोक्तस्त्रिपुरो यत्र गतिता पितृकल्पस्तथा चान्ते Brahmana Smrita. Therefore, the 30 kalpas of Brahma are Shveta Kalpa, Nila Lohita, Vamadev, Gathantara, Raurava, Prana, Brihat Kalpa, Kandarpa, Sadyotha, Ishana, Dhyana, Saraswata, Udana, Garuda, Korma, Narsimha, Samadhi, Agneya, Vishnuja, Saura, Somakalpa, Bhavana, Supuma, Vaikuntha, Archisa, Valikalpa, Vairaja, Gaurikalpa, Maheshwara, Paitrakalpa. These are Brahma's days only, and he has to live months and years up to 100. So we can just imagine how many creations are in kalpas only. Then again, there are vikalpas which are generated by breathing of Mahavishnu as stated in Brahma Samhita. Yasheka Nishvashita Kalam Ashtavalambhya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadanda Natha. Sorry, I didn't pronounce it right. The Brahmas live only during the breathing period of Mahavishnu. So the exhaling and inhaling of Vishnu are Mahakalpas, and all these are due to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for no one else is the master of all creations. Amazing. I think the long and short of it is, in this long period of time, which in Vedas is one like eternity. Lord Brahma's one lifetime is compared to one lightning, and we know that Lord Brahma lives by his own 100 years, and we just had the description of 1 month of Lord Brahma, and we know within 1 month of Lord Brahma there are 30 kalpas or 30 days, and 1 kalpa or 1 day of Lord Brahma has got 1,000 chaturyugas. And we know that 1 chaturyuga is like Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. Dwapar Yuga is twice, so 864,000 years. You've got twice of that is is Treta Yuga, and then twice of that, or 4.24 million years, is Satyug. So like one day of, well, no, one Chaturyuga is 8.64 million years, and we are talking about 1,000 of these Chaturyuga cycles in one day of Brahma, and then we start to multiply it by the the 30 days for a month, then years, and then 100 years of Lord Brahma. Like even that, as per the Vedic calendar, is only a flash of lightning in the large time, space of time. I was listening to Braj Bihari Prabhu, and he was giving lecture at Bhaktivedanta Manor last year, in fact, in July, when he had come on the same verse. I would highly recommend, please go and listen to this particular verse. If you search on YouTube, it's first few on Manor website, first few choices come as Braj Bihari Prabhu's lecture, and he was saying how we think of time as linear. AD, like we say, we are in 2024 AD, which is after Christ, and it is linear. But in Vedic terms, time is cyclical, right? So there's creation, maintenance, destruction, and it's constant, cyclical. The other thing he was saying is how if you go up a level, like even if you look at NASA and go up via the rocket up in space, Earth becomes like not even a dot, or so small, and like in the vast time as eternity that's going on, this is like nothing. Our existence one is very small, and then the whole time itself is very, very small. But Srimad Bhagavatam is so beautiful that even in that infinitesimal existence that we have, in one sense, there is an opportunity to experience love, love of devotees and love of the Lord. And as Srila Prabhupada explains, like it's the devotional service to the Lord. That's the only way we can get out of this various yuga cycles and the various species of life which we are stuck in. On that note, I'm going to pause there. Please forgive me for any mistakes or offenses I may have done. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Are there any comments, questions, corrections? No. Thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu devacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Srila Prabhupada
Thank you
ki
very
jai.
much.
Class. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare
Haribo.